right, what happens now? The House overwhelmingly voting to really stick it to TikTok right now and say if the Chinese company that owns it doesn't get rid of it or divest it, then, well, Congress will. But that's not all of Congress. The Senate has yet to act on that. Ken Langone on what's at stake here. Ken, what do you think? Should TikTok be banned in the United States?
I'm not an authority on this kind of technology. However, if they're able to get into our databases through this mechanism, then we have to do something about it, Neil. Because, you know, we have, first of all, I don't use any of these social networks or programs or whatever you call them. I think we have to worry about the implications of all this data, because apparently it can work its way into one thing and keep going into other things. It could create a lot of mischief. Now, it's bad enough that we have them in America that can do that. We control those because they're here. If it's a foreign entity, I think it's a serious issue. So I do believe that a lot of work's got to be done to make sure that our national security is not at risk. I don't know if the work's been done, but companies like Palantir, which by the way, I plead guilty, I'm a major investor in Palantir.
Sure. People
like Palantir are more of an authority on what the risks are than I am. Preliminarily, I've got to say, it scares me to read what they're able to do and what they have done. But these social networks, to me, are dangerous for many other reasons beyond what TikTok can do. People working with each other to commit suicide, for instance. This is scary stuff. And I think we have to look long and hard at what technology is doing to us as a society.
Do you think government should do that? There are many conservatives, many business titans like yourself who say, well, I'm not keen on a lot of what's going on there, but I don't like the government, you know, sort of policing this. You say?
Well, I don't either, Neil, but except that's the only mechanism we have right now to look at it.
Got it. You
know, there's no capitalistic motives in looking at another company and saying, hey, they're bad or they're good. Right now, I think this is what government should be doing. Government should be thinking about things to protect our well-being. And it would seem to me that if TikTok represents a real risk to us as a society, then I think our government's got to step in.
Okay. Let me ask you about something else.
Certainly they have to know what's going on.
Got it. Let me ask you something else. Joe Biden in his State of the Union address wants to raise taxes on rich guys like you. He wants to raise it on successful companies and that. In the very same week, we hear later from Bernie Sanders wanting the billionaires to pay their fair share so that they can support a lot of these programs, the 32-hour work week and all of that you were alluding to. Do you think you're a target? And do you think rich guys like you should be a target?
We're always a target, Neil. You know, what did they say? Willie Sutton said, why do you rob banks? That's where the money is. You're not going to get money from people that are struggling from... Look, I am all for paying more taxes. I have no trouble paying more taxes. I've been blessed beyond my wildest dreams. This great country's given me, a poor kid, an enormous opportunity and a chance to live a life I never dreamed possible. So I have no trouble. The problem I have is the money. I read something the other day, $15 million about some bee or some bug in his newest bill. This is nuts. I can guarantee you right now, one thing I should not get is Social Security. And I've said this many times in public. Neither my wife nor I, we won big. We won huge. What the hell am I doing, Elaine and I, getting $5,500 a month from the federal government? This is a disgrace.
So pay more taxes. Why don't guys like you pay more taxes? You can afford to and do it. That's what they say.
Neil, I have no trouble paying taxes. My problem is what they do with the tax money they get. Pardon me, they piss it away. If you told me that they were going to raise my taxes and they were going to take the proceeds of that tax increase and pay down the national debt, give it to me, baby. I'll take that every time. It's in my interest for this country to be strong. I'll do better where our country is strong, no doubt about it.
All right.
But don't take the money to spend it in ways that don't benefit society. You realize we just pumped $6 trillion into this economy in the last 3 or 4 years? That's a staggering, more than $6 trillion, but a staggering amount of money. And where did it go? We got inflation. Why? Because the dollars that came in weren't matched by productivity on the other side. So there's more dollars chasing relatively fewer goods.
Yeah.
Prices have to go up.
And that's
Who gets
exactly
hurt? The little guy.
that's what happened. Ken, let me ask you this, and I've asked you this before, but I always like to get updates.
Yeah.
You and Bernie Marcus and your buddies, you've started this Home Depot from nothing in the middle of a recession, if you think about it, in the 70s. Do you think in this environment you could recreate that if you were doing it today?
No.
Why not?
For a lot of reasons. One big reason, one of the things we believe in as a company to this day, we want our associates to be owners of the company. The different equity programs we created, such as stock options,
Right.
aren't practical today. We would never have made money because you have to expense options. That's gone. We couldn't afford to give all these kids. Neil, let me tell you what we don't get enough credit for. We have 3,000 kids that started out pushing carts in the lot, 18 years old, 3,000 of them. Today, they're multimillionaires. They're the guys that Bernie Sanders wants to go after, and these are the kids that are the backbone of this great nation. It's sad. It's sad. And what the hell is Bernie Sanders is worth $18 to $20 billion? His wife broke a university. I mean, this is hypocrisy. But back to the point, Neil. We could not create another Home Depot today, largely because of the way we felt about taking care of our people. That's the most important thing Home Depot does, is to focus on taking care of its people. From that emanates everything else. Good service in the stores, in stock, all the things that people look to us for wouldn't happen if we didn't have the quality of people we have. And by the way, Neil, 500,000 associates today. Walmart, a couple of million people. Look, there's another good example. Look at all the good that Walmart does to fight inflation. Warren Buffett said one time that he thinks that Walmart, I remember I was there when he spoke, he said he measured that inflation would be 1% higher if Walmart didn't exist. That's a big number.
It is a big number.
But why? Because Walmart's always thinking about what's good for our customer. How do we get the best deal for our customer? Home Depot the same way. So no, we couldn't today. It's sad because, and by the way, 500,000 direct Home Depot. How about the millions of people that work in the factories and work for the companies that provide us with all the goods and services we sell?
Bottom line, you don't think it could be repeated. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Ken, I could talk to you forever, my friend. You were terrific. I always, whether people agree or disagree, you speak your mind. You don't give me any graves. Be well.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
And good luck coming out.
Have a nice weekend.
Good luck coming out of your shell, Ken. I think it's working. Ken Langone.
Yeah, I'm working on it, Neil. I'm working like hell on it.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.